Hey everybody, welcome to Philosophy 101,000. Um, as we finish up Augustine here, I just wanted to give you a preview of something I plan on talking about tomorrow, but don't expect to be able to develop it too much. And that's trying to give a fuller picture of exactly what the fool's soul looks like. From the very beginning of Book 1, we were told that the fool has a mind, but that his mind is not in control. And we initially represented that as just how these two powers are ordered in the soul, reason and desire. So the fool was the person who has reason, it's just that reason is not, as it were, calling the shots. Desire is calling the shots. And the fact that desire is calling the shots is what makes that desire inordinate, disordered. It's literally not in the right place in the human soul. Now that we've come further along in the development of Augustine's thinking here, we can fill out that picture a little bit and say that in the soul of the fool, reason is not oriented towards or is not receptive to the truth. And we know that the truth for Augustine is expressed in these rules of number and rules of wisdom. Rules of wisdom being the important ones here because they are principles of action. Okay. Now, the wise person, if you ask him or her what is the explanation for what she is doing, he or she will say, I'm doing what I'm doing because I have seen a principle of action to be true. So it is the truth that is literally shaping what is happening in the wise person's life. So I have seen it to be true that generous action is better than greedy action. Therefore, I do X, Y, and Z. So much for the wise person. Now, the fool has reason. It's just that reason is not receptive to or oriented towards the truth. So the question remains, what in the world is left for reason to do? Now, what I'd like to talk about here just a little bit is the vision of a human life that a fool would have. Because, of course, the fool understands that the human being is very different from other animals. We sort of have a rather impoverished set of instincts to help us get along, and therefore reason assumes a very important role in the human life. But here's how the fool would probably understand that. Take food, just as an example. As an infant, of course, the human being is equipped with instincts that guide it towards everything it needs to do to get the nutrients it requires. Namely, we have a sucking instinct. Okay, but the story goes something like this: as we get older, our instincts are not sufficient to get us the nutrients we need. So let's say you desire a hamburger and fries. Okay, that's an object of appetite. So your appetite sets up this goal for you, this end of your action. And then it's left for reason to do a number of things. For instance, the discovery and organization of means to that end. So I want a burger and fries. Where's the nearest McDonald's? Okay, I found it. Well, to get there, I'm going to need to get in my car. I'm going to need to take a right turn at the light, etc., etc., etc. Suppose I get to the McDonald's and I find out that I don't have enough money for a burger and fries. I only have enough money for a burger or fries. So now it's left to reason to prioritize or perhaps coordinate ends. All right, so my aim is to have the burger and fries. If I go to McDonald's, I can only get one or the other. So now reason's task is to look within and weigh the various appetites I have. Which do I want more? So we have a couple jobs for reason now in the soul of the fool: the discovery and organization of means to an end, the prioritization perhaps coordination of ends. Maybe I figure out if I don't go to McDonald's but go to the supermarket and buy the ingredients, then I can afford to have both the hamburger and fries, right? So discovery and organization of means, prioritization and coordination of ends. These are things for reason to get up to in the fool's soul. But you'll notice there's one thing that reason does not do in the soul of the fool, which is to act as a source of action. In the wise person's soul, reason turns toward the truth, discovering a principle that then governs the action, what I do. So when you ask me why I'm doing what I'm doing, I refer you to some rule, some principle that I've seen to be true, hence I do what I do. Okay? But in the soul of the fool, reason is not the source, rather reason is the servant of the appetites. The appetites set up the ends, the goals, and reason gets busy figuring out how to attain those goals that have been set up for it by the appetites. Furthermore, you can think of reason as a kind of obedient listener to the appetites. If I have multiple appetites and they seem to conflict with one another, reason listens in and hears which of the dogs is barking the loudest. But it does not act as a source. And it's in this sense, at the end of the day, that Augustine means that fools have reason, but the reason is not in control. It's not calling the shots. It is rather the servant of the appetite. Now, we can also put this together with his account of what inordinate desire is. Inordinate desire is, of course, love of those things that you can lose against your will. So, you know, to put it rather informally, you got to think of the fool's first love is some external good. That's the object of love. Of course, there's no guarantee that you can get that thing, and reason gets very busy worrying about how to secure it and to hang on to it, right? Whereas the first love of the wise person is virtue itself. To act generously, to act patiently, to act with kindness, etc. These are the primary objects of interest for the wise person. Now, of course, there are a lot of problems that are lurking in Augustine's account here, but I wanted to make sure we filled in that picture a little bit, because as we move forward to some of our modern thinkers, we'll see that it's precisely this picture of the role of reason in the wise person's life and the role of reason in the fool's life. These modern thinkers are going to want to reverse that picture, or at least claim that there is no role for reason other than that which Augustine would assign to the fool, right? So basically, from Augustine's perspective, what these modern thinkers are going to claim is that we're all fools. From their perspective, they're going to claim everybody lives the way you say a fool lives, and the only real fool is the one who believes that you could live otherwise. All right, so that's what I'm thinking about for tomorrow, trying to work in something new there. We'll see the degree to which I succeed. All right, see you guys tomorrow.